Hey guys, it's Sarah. Thank you so much for watching. So today I have round 6 of my eyeshadow roulette series. I can't believe this is already the 6th round of this project that I've done. But if you are unfamiliar with this little project, it was inspired by the Pan Those Eyeshadows Project Pan theme that was started by Alexandra Sjosten here on YouTube. I will link hers below, as well as a few others who have also inspired me to do this for myself, but I've kind of adapted it a little bit so that it's not so much focused on panning the eyeshadows, but it's more just a way for me to really mix and match my whole collection of eyeshadows. I have a whole list of all 153 pans of eyeshadow that I own, and I go into random.org and randomly select 5 shades to focus on for a month. And if I do happen to hit pan on any of them, that's great. I will show you progress photos, so you'll be able to see what each one looked like at the start of the month and what it looks like now, so you'll see how much progress I did make. But again, it's really not so much focused on panning or finishing them up for me so much as it is just for me to kind of experiment with different shades that I may not have thought to pair together otherwise. So let's go ahead and kind of recap the 5 shadows that I was focusing on in July. So all of the shades kind of followed a modern Renaissance-esque color story, even though only 2 of them were actually from the Modern Renaissance palette. So the 5 shades that I had in July were Love Letter from Modern Renaissance, Flawless from the theBalm Nude Dude palette, one of the Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadows in the shade Gold Goddess, Red Ochre from Modern Renaissance, and then Red Between the Lines from the Milani Bold Obsessions palette. So very much kind of a fall-themed look, but I had a lot of fun with these this month. Even though it was probably the most cohesive color story I have had yet, I definitely had a lot of fun with these, and I enjoyed wearing them together. The one shade I didn't wear very much was Red Between the Lines from the Modern Renaissance palette. I think I only wore this in the Get Ready With Me where I used all 5 of these, just because it was so similar to Red Ochre and I was already using my Modern Renaissance palette a lot this month. I just didn't find myself reaching for that quite as much. Also, Red Ochre is just a better formula in my opinion. It's just a lot more pigmented. I did end up using this transition shade from the theBalm palette quite a lot this month, but not as much as I probably would have because I have also the Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells quad in my project pan right now. I'm trying to use up all 4 of those shades. And one of those is kind of also a mid-toned brown transition color. But this one actually does pull a lot more gray than the Wet n Wild one, so I did use it more when I was going for more of a cool toned eye look. I wore that one today. Today's look, I'm wearing 3 of these. I'm wearing that shade from the theBalm, and then I'm wearing the 2 shades from Modern Renaissance. I'm not wearing the Stila Glitter or the Milani shade, but I'm also wearing a couple of other shades from the Modern Renaissance palette. The main colors I'm wearing today are Vermeer and Antique Bronze, and then I also have I kind of just mixed Love Letter and Red Ochre, did just a little bit of that in the outer corner. Yeah, I guess I'm wearing 4 shades from this palette today. And since I was reaching for this palette more often because there were 2 shades in my eyeshadow roulette for the month, I actually ended up hitting pan on one of the shades, but it wasn't one of the eyeshadow roulette shades. It was the shade Vermeer, and these pans sneak up on me because I never think that I'm really that close to the pan. I didn't think I was going to hit pan on this, but I think that the ABH pans are pretty shallow, so I did surprisingly hit pan on that. So I now have pan in 2 of the shades in here. Really just the 2 shimmers. Mattes are always harder for me to hit pan on, and this palette is mostly matte. So, but I'm happy to see another pan in this palette because it's one that I'm wanting to kind of focus on more. It is getting older. I've heard some people say that their Modern Renaissance palettes have kind of gone bad, or like after the 6-month mark. It does have a 6-month shelf life. It says. I've definitely had mine for almost 2 years now. Some people say that theirs kind of start to not work as well after that 6-month or year mark. Mine, I think, still works fine. I feel like maybe Love Letter has gotten a little bit dry, maybe not quite as pigmented as it once was, but I still feel like it's perfectly usable. But with that being said, I do still want to focus on it some more and start seeing some more progress on it. But I mean, that is the case for a lot of my eyeshadow palettes, including the Nude Dude one. I didn't hit pan on any more shades in here this month. But I think I'm getting really close to hitting pan on Flawless. So yeah, no pans from any of these 5 shades this month, but either way I did enjoy wearing them a lot. I feel like my Stila Glitter and Glow is drying out though. And I know for a fact, I think I can probably count on one hand the number of times I've actually used this. I think I used it 2 or 3 times this month, so really not that many times, which is why I'm surprised that it's already dried out, because I feel like I've only worn it maybe 5 times total since I bought it. It is one of the minis, so if you have any tips for reviving these, I was thinking about maybe just trying to put a little bit of like saline solution in there, or contact solution, because I know that's supposed to work for mascara. And I really don't want this, I don't want to have to toss it, because I know there's still plenty of product in there, it's just that it's dried out and I'm having a hard time even getting any product out on the applicator. But I checked my other 2 that I bought at the same time, they were in a trio. The other 2 shades don't seem to be doing that, so maybe it's just this one has, maybe it's had more contact with air or something, I don't know. Anyway, my favorite look from this month was the one I actually wore on the 4th of July, and I wore it in my, I think it was my July Project Pan update, and I had, it was a very like fiery summer look, and that's kind of what I was going for. A lot of like red and obviously gold glitter. I had the gold glitter all over the lid, and then I had red ochre in the outer corner. Those were the only 2 shades from the Eyeshadow Roulette that I had on, but I also wore a little bit of Realgar, how do you even pronounce that? I don't know. This orange matte shade here, which I don't often wear, but I really liked it that day. I kind of mixed Realgar and red ochre sort of in the outer corner. I used the Wet n Wild transition and brow bone shades from that quad since I'm trying to pan it. And then I had the Jordana Sweet Cream liquid lipstick in Mango Sorbet on the lips. That was one of my favorite looks I've done in a while. It was just so bold and so fiery and summery, even though I think of these shades and really the Modern Renaissance palette as a whole as kind of a fall themed color story. I thought that that was just such a summer appropriate look. So that was my favorite look that I did, and again, I was only wearing 2 of my Eyeshadow Roulette shades that time, but it was really inspired by, you know, the Stila Glitter and the Modern Renaissance palette together. Otherwise, I just did a lot of, and I don't know how many pictures I actually ended up taking this month. I feel like I didn't really take a ton because a lot of the looks I did were just kind of plain and boring. I did end up doing a look with my Nude Dude palette, and you know, it was really nothing special, but you can really see how that Flawless shade really does pull very gray on the eyes. And I wore that with my Red Apple lipstick in Beachside, which was actually one of my lipstick picks for the month. I do a similar series but with lipsticks on my channel. So and I did find that the 4 lipsticks that I had for the month that I was focusing on did all go really well with these shades. But yeah, overall a lot of like red tones on the eyes, a lot of rosy tones. So that was a fun month, but I am ready to move on from like the super red eye looks because it can get very intense very quickly with these reds. So I have gone ahead and taken out those 5 shades that we had last month so that they don't get selected again, and I've done the same thing in previous months as well. So it looks like now we have 129 shadows that I'm picking from, and I also did take out the Walking on Eggshells quad because it's in my project pan. I'm already focusing on it. I don't really feel like it would be necessary to specifically focus on any of those since I already am. So let's go ahead and pull up random.org. I'll do it on my phone. So the first number I got is 89. That is from, oh, that's one of my Makeup Geek singles. That's cool. I feel like we haven't gotten any Makeup Geek singles yet in the shade Venom. So that is this shimmery olive green. Honestly, I don't reach for my Makeup Geek singles very often. All right, let's pick another one. Got 73. That is a shade from the e.l.f. Opposites Attract palette, and it's the shade Cheeky. That is, oh, this is gonna be interesting. That is this bright matte coral shade. All right, next we got 60. That is from the Norvina palette, and it is the shade Incense. Okay, so we got kind of a normal shade. That's this mid-toned, kind of warm brown matte. So far, I don't love these colors together. All right, next I got 114, and that, oh yes, I'm so happy we got this one, even though it doesn't really go with any of these other colors. It is a single shadow, one of my packaged single shadows. This is from the brand Terre, and this is this shade Bronze Moonstone. I used to have 4 of these and I decluttered all but this one. This is such a special color in my opinion. It's like kind of a taupey purple. See that? I'll show you the swatches all together in a second, but that is one of my favorite shadows, and I have been meaning to pull this out and put it in my makeup basket for a while now, so very happy to have that one. And let's pick our fifth and final shade. Really curious to see what it is. 107. That is from the Billy Beauty palette, which is one of my current favorites, and it's the shade Kobari, which is just a matte, kind of deep brown. All right, so there are the 5 shades together. I feel like in the viewfinder they're looking not true to color, so I'm really hoping that's not how it's gonna look in the video itself, but either way, this is probably my least favorite group of colors that we've had so far in this project. Got an olive green, that's Makeup Geek Venom, Elf Cheeky from the Opposites Attract, Incense from Norvina, Bronze Moonstone from Terramare, and Kobari from the Eyes of India palette. So I'm glad we have a couple of matte browns. I feel like if you cover up the green, those look like they could go together, or if you cover up the peach, those could go together. A lot of these shades on their own will go nicely together, but I'm kind of trying to figure out how I'm gonna put them all together in like one look with all 5 of them, so we'll see, but I'll definitely do a get ready with me at some point this month where I at least try to create a look with all 5 of them. Can't promise it's gonna look very good, but yeah, interesting set of colors, very interesting. So those are the 5 shadows I will be focusing on this month. We'll see how I do, but again, I don't always try to wear all 5 at the same time. I always try to do at least one look where I use all 5, but for the most part I'll use like maybe 2 or 3 of the shades for a look, or just one, you know, just really the goal is just to focus in on each of these 5 shadows and get to know them better and find ways to use them I might not have thought of before. So I think that's it for this video. Let me know if you have any ideas for ways that I can wear these shadows together. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But if you enjoyed this video, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again very soon. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.